Today, we'll discuss about the problem-based learning. The problem-based learning, which is also called as PBL, is a teaching method in which complex real-world problems are used as the vehicle to promote student learning of concepts and principles as opposed to direct presentation of facts and concepts. In addition to course content, the PBL can promote the development of critical thinking skills, problem solving abilities, and communication skills. It can also provide opportunities for working in groups, finding and evaluating research materials, and lifelong learning. PBL can be incorporated into any learning situation. In the strictest definition of PBL, the approach is used over the entire semester as the primary method of teaching. However, broader definitions and uses range from including PBL in lab and design classes. This is mainly used for simply to start a single discussion. Just imagine you're stating a problem to a group of students. So now the group of students will start thinking about how to resolve the problem. Then they will start with a discussion. This is what is the prime motive and the first step of this problem-based learning teaching method. PBL can also be used to create assessment items. The main thread connecting these various uses is the real-world problem. Any subject areas can be adapted to PBL with a little creativity. While the core problems will vary among disciplines, and there are some characteristics of good PBL problems that transcend the fields. The problem must motivate students to seek out a deeper understanding of concepts. So the main reason behind this new modern teaching learning method, the problem-based learning, is used to trigger the students that understanding the concept is very essential. And number two, the problem should require students to make reasoned decisions and to defend them. And number three, the problem should incorporate the content objectives in such a way as to connect it to the previous courses or knowledge. So whatever they study, they need to apply to resolve a problem. So the teacher who is going to give them a problem to work on this problem-based learning, they have to keep in mind what they have studied earlier and connect it to the problem so that they will be able to recall whatever they have studied. Next, if used for a group project, the problem needs a level of complexity to ensure that the students must work together to solve it. The main aim of this problem-based learning in modern teaching is to make the students improve their coordination skills, interpersonal skills, listening skills, applying knowledge, that is their higher order thinking skills. So when they can't work alone with a problem, they group together, discuss with each other, and the peer learning also starts with that. So this is the main intention where many skills will be developed during this problem-based learning method. And if used, a multi-stage project, the initial steps of the problem should be open-ended and engaging to draw students into the problem. So the students should start getting into the problem. So interest should be there in the problem also, so that the curiosity will be there in the students. The problems can come from a variety of sources like newspapers, magazines, journals, books, textbooks, and even televisions or even movies. Some are in such form that they can be used with little editing. However, others need to be rewritten to be of use. Some of the guidelines shall be discussed about this problem-based learning. Here, let us see what are all those things. Number one, choosing a central idea or concept or a principle that is always taught in a given course, and then think of a typical end of chapter problem or an assignment or a homework that is usually assigned to students to help them learn the concept. List the learning objectives that students should meet when they work through the problem. Number two, think of a real world context for the concept under consideration. Develop a storytelling aspect to an end of chapter problem, or research an actual case that can be adapted, adding some motivation to the students to solve the problem. More complex problems will challenge the students to go beyond simple means to solve it. So look at magazines, newspapers, articles for ideas on this storyline. Some PBL practitioners talk to professionals in the field and searching for ideas of realistic applications of the concept being taught. So why do we teach in the class, or why do students learn? The main objective is whatever they learn, they should be able to apply in the real world situations to resolve a problem. So a pattern of that should be inculcated when you're giving a problem for the PBL course. Number three, the problem needs to be introduced in stages so that the students will be able to identify learning issues that will lead them to research the targeted concepts. Some of the questions that may help guide this process. Number one, what will be the first page or the first stage look like? What open-ended questions can be asked, or what learning issues will be identified? Number two, how will the problem be structured? And number three, how long will the problem be? And how many class periods it is going to take completely? And then, will students be given information in subsequent sessions or in subsequent stages as they work through the problem? Then what resources will the students need? And what end product will the students produce at the completion of that problem? So this is very, very essential when a teacher is explaining or detailing the instruction plans on using this problem-based learning in their course. So students have to do this provided the teachers design it in a proper way. So this is very, very essential. And the final step is to identify the key resources for the students. The students need to learn to identify and utilize the learning resources on their own. But it can be helpful if the instructor indicates a few good sources to get them started, because it's always the mentor or the guide are teachers. So teachers have to show them a way just to start with, and then the students will take off from there. And many students will want to limit their research to the internet. That is very easy, they have a cell phone and they will start Googling about how to resolve the problem. So it will be very important to guide them toward library as well. They need to go to library, take books and read them so that they will develop a lot of learning habit, as well as a secondary learning opportunity will happen. And the method for distributing a PBL problem falls under three closely related teaching techniques. case studies, role plays, and simulations. Case studies are presented to students in written form, and role plays have students improvise scenes based on a character descriptions given. And today, simulations often involve computer-based programs. So regardless of which technique is used, the heart of the method remains the same. That's nothing but the real world problem. So, my dear teachers, why don't you start implementing the same in your classroom and give me a feedback in the comment how it helped you. Thank you so much. God bless you all.